Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, man. What the heck? Baltimore bridge collapsed after it was hit by a ship. Dude, this thumbnail looks crazy. Was anybody on the bridge? All right, we got... This is crazy, man. I'm gonna try to check this video out. That looks insane, man. All right, we ain't gonna waste no more time. Let me, I'm just trying to see if I'm gonna be able to show the video.
This morning, a stunning bridge collapse at the port of Baltimore.
The entire Key Bridge in the harbor.
The Francis Scott Key Bridge plunging into the water overnight after it was hit by a cargo container ship.
I want to know what bang was. Ship hit the Key Bridge, sinking. The bridge is gone. Holy hell.
Video shows smoke coming from the ship before it hit the bridge. The bridge is normally a major artery spanning the Patapsco River. And though the collapse happened in the early morning hours, 1:30 a.m., video shows cars crossing moments before the ship hits. The traffic then paused, but vehicles were still on the bridge as it then crumbled into the water. Fire department and Coast Guard teams rushed to the scene, rescuers searching the water overnight.
Still very much in an active search and rescue posture. Our sonar has detected the presence of vehicles submerged in the water.
The ship is an almost 950-foot container vessel called Dolly, headed from Baltimore to Sri Lanka. The Synergy Marine Corporation saying it collided with the bridge pillar, and all of its crew members, including the two pilots, have been accounted for. The ship reportedly lost power while in the water. This morning, with the sun rising, search teams continue looking for any survivors in the water as the Baltimore area reels from a major collapse.
Tom, we know that there were vehicles in the water, as that official pointed out. The weather is very cold, so if there are survivors who are still in the water, how long can they safely remain in those cold temps?
Yeah, 40, 45 degrees in the water, 32 degrees outside right now where we are. We checked with the University of Minnesota Duluth, and they're saying at about 7 minutes, if you're in the water, you start to have exhaustion. And then you may have, if you're lucky, if you've got a flotation device, if you've got the right gear, you might be able to survive for an hour. So we are now several hours, almost 6 hours into this episode. Survivability is really potentially very, very challenging. But overhead, helicopters continue to search the water for any signs of survivors. And this is an all-hands-on-deck effort in terms of Baltimore and Maryland state authorities.
So this video is from 6 hours ago. I'm just wondering, has there been any updates? I see a video down there, 33 minutes ago, it says 6 people missed. Dude, this is crazy. Like, it just makes me think when we go to the Bay Area and, you know, whenever we visit family, we have to cross a bridge. I remember one, I think it was the Bay Bridge that was on fire. Oh, man, I'm going to be like, yo, get it? Like, go. Dude. I couldn't even imagine. That's,
and surrounding counties all sending mass resources into this area, trying to find anybody who might be in the water.
Let's talk, Tom, if we could, about this cargo ship itself. Earlier, you and I were on the air. We could not even make out in the dark whether the ship was still afloat. We now see that it is. We've been told by authorities that the crew remains on the ship, including presumably the pilot of this vessel. What is the investigation going to look like now? As I understand it, by law, you have to, if you're traveling these very complex waters of in and around the Baltimore Harbor and the Chesapeake Bay, you have to have a local marine pilot on because it is so complex. Yeah. If we can even roll the video, Tom. In the moments before it hits this structure, this key part of the pylon of the bridge's structure, the ship looks dark. It looks like it's lost power.
Yes, and there was one report that it had, in fact, lost power. The fire department chief is saying that they will not put people on board that ship until they do a full damage assessment to determine how safe it is. And then they've got to evacuate the crew and determine how seaworthy the vessel is. However, at the moment, it seems to be fine. The NTSB will actually be running the investigation into how this happened. But I must say, the locals here are stunned that this ship would, first of all, crash into one of these pylons. Again, we don't know if they had control of the ship. And secondly, stunned that this bridge would be so vulnerable to collapse with the ship hitting a pylon. Just a whole series of questions that you can imagine the entire city is asking. I would make the point we are right up against, very close to I-95, that critical north-south corridor on the East Coast. I-95 is open. 695, however, is closed. And so if you are planning to come up and down the East Coast, be aware that the area around Baltimore is going to be really, really trying and problematic just in terms of traffic. And the port of Baltimore itself, one of the busiest in the country, is going to be reeling from this and trying to determine how safe it is to move ship traffic in and out.
Live pictures out of Baltimore as the sun's coming up, Tom. The Francis Scott Key Bridge perhaps totally collapsed this morning, a 1.5 mile thoroughfare right around Baltimore City.
Hey, man, looking at that, how easily it just like the domino effect. Oh, my goodness, man. Like, I mean, I know that's a pretty big ship, but it's not like, it just from what I'm seeing, it looked like it just kind of grazed it and then that all fell. That remind me of, there's like a video in like a warehouse where this guy's driving a machine and he literally hits the corner of a rack and the whole thing collapsed. I mean, everything collapsed in there. All the shelves. I wonder how often or when was the last time that bridge had been like reinforced? Because that right there was, man, I'm just looking at some comments here. Said the fact that this happened at 1:30 a.m. Yeah. I get what someone said. The fact that this happened at 1:30 a.m. and while tragic, it's like, can you imagine had this happened during midday? Yeah, a lot of people saying that they drove across that bridge daily. 2 people so far have been rescued. That's 5 hours ago. Just, oh man, if you're like on that bridge and like, it's like, what is going through your head? And then you don't, I'm just thinking like all the metal, like, are you going to get trapped under? Oh my goodness. Yeah, that really collapsed. Really easily. Just from the angle that I seen, like, it looked like it, I know that's a big ship, but like it just kind of grazed it a little bit. But I know it's probably from a different angle. You can probably see like the impact or whatever. And then to lose power, like right at that moment, like, come on, man. That is crazy. I'm gonna try to stay updated with this to see, because I mean, 5 hours ago they say 2 people rescued, man. It's like, damn. And then like if your family is at home and they know like you went out the house and that they know you were at that time, that you were going on that bridge, it's like, oh my goodness, man. All right, you guys. Thanks for watching. I'm going to try to stay updated with this, though, for sure. All right, peace out.